There it goes. That's that Tech Nina in the background. They know me. What's up, YouTube? Ah, man. Seeing me in a new position. Little lab I'm putting together right now. Setting up the studio down here. So that's what I got going on. Got my desk now. I always have a desk, but now I moved it, reorganized, redoing some things. Merry late Christmas. Sorry to be the last one to tell it to everybody. Hope everybody had a good holiday. Uh, that was a good one for me. It was just me and Murphy, two of us, watching sports, chilling. So no complaints. The rest of my family was at the farm. So it's all good. Had my knee drained today. So I wasn't real mobile and nothing like that. But here I am right now. Gonna talk about some football. What else we gonna talk about? Sports cards. And what else? Chiefs. Now, we're going into a minute and 41 seconds. Let's get this thing started off here, folks. Let's turn down the music a little bit. Now, last week was a wild week. So before I get into this week's picks, what I want to do, whoops, sorry, a little too much bass in the speaker. That's a joke. There's not too much bass in the speaker. But, we got 10 wins last week, even though my Chiefs weren't a part of that 10-win club. But that's good, We're going to start with the Chiefs first. Chiefs first. Here's the deal. The Chiefs had a good team loss. The whole fucking team lost. From the players to the coaches, everybody lost. What we witnessed on Christmas Day from the Chiefs was nothing short of pathetic. Pathetic, sorry, and repetitive, as it seems to have been the theme for this season. Underachieving, underperforming, and playing poorly, consistently. But they have yet to address and actually fix any issue, any problem. Me, personally, I'll tell you right now, as far as problem solving goes, the best way to solve a problem is to identify and isolate said problem. Okay? Because generally, what you see on the field, okay, what we're seeing, these incompletions or drop passes or fumbles or pick sixes, all these things that we're seeing, they're the result of another problem. That's the result of what we're not doing or what we are doing incorrectly. That is the result of it. So identifying that would be key. And at this point, you start to look at everything. Like I said, you've got poor play calling, which I've been saying all year. Which I kind of, I pat myself on the shoulder. I don't take any joy in saying how poorly my Chiefs have been performing this year. There's no, there's no, there's no fun in that for anybody who has a team that are not doing well. Granted, they're going to make the playoffs. This I'm sure of, and depending on what they do within the next 2 to 3 weeks, because they're not gonna get a week off. I still think they got a good shot at getting that second seed, and I think they will get that second seed, and they'll have 2 games at home. And depending on who that first seed is, which more than likely is going to be Baltimore, unless Miami can beat them, and then Baltimore just folds, and then you got Miami, which, there again, the team we've built, or a team we've beat in Frankfurt earlier this year. And Honestly, honestly, I'll be honest with you. I'm in agreement with Mahomes when he said, when we clean up our game, we can beat anybody. There's nobody that can beat us. And I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. If you watch football and you understand the game, you've been watching long enough, see these players, then you understand that what he's saying is that we aren't playing our best football, and the mistakes that we're making on the field, that's what's costing us the games. We're not losing to teams because they're better than us. We're beating ourselves by not playing our best football. Very simple. Just my chair. Oh, leg, knee, whatever. So I agree with him in that. You know, Andy Reid taking some accountability. I can tell you that this mixture of play calling between Reid and Nagy, it doesn't work. It hasn't worked. It's not working. It's not a solution. However, I did read an article earlier as to the whether or not it's true. I don't know how true it is, but I did hear something in regards to Ron Rivera, the commies, and him being released, which in turn would also potentially allow for Bieniemy to be released. And depending on what Bieniemy wants to do, there's no reason why the Chiefs wouldn't be able to hire him for the postseason and make a run with Bieniemy calling plays again. Mahomes would love to have Bieniemy back. And I'm not saying that Bieniemy not being there is the problem. I personally think it's poor play calling, poor execution, and for the most part, you try to be conservative in so many ways when it comes to spending money. When it came to finding players to surround your $500 million quarterback with, all right, you didn't do it. You had more than enough opportunity to go out and get these wide receivers in free agency or make a deal for somebody before the trade deadline in October, but you didn't. Don't know why. Deshaun Jackson, he's sitting at home. I know he'd play for you, Andy. T.Y. Hilton, he's available. He's still got a little juice in the tank. You just need somebody that can catch and hold on to a ball. Someone that's going to be where they're supposed to be when Mahomes throws that ball. Because he expects there to be a receiver, his receiver to be there. And for that person to catch and hold on to that ball like a baby. Like, if these guys have babies, would they be dropping them babies? Like, oh, shit, baby. Fuck. No. Same thing with football. Same thing with football. And if you look back on the game, I remember we had that 7-3 lead there briefly, if I'm not mistaken. And stupid play calling 101. You call one of your trick plays when you're at the opposing team's red zone. I forgot where they were at, maybe the 15. And you call this trick reverse nonsense. It doesn't really make any sense to do that right there. No. Why is that even an option? Why was that play even brought up? Shouldn't have been. And then the very next play, that's when Mahomes threw his interception. You had a receiver that ran a route and the corner jumped the route. So the corner do the route better than the receiver, but he jumped it. Why? It's not because Mahomes was I fucking the whole way there. No, Mahomes fucking bred, did his checkdowns, saw his option, but his option wasn't ready for him. Happens. And then leaving points on the board. You think would have made a difference if Andy Reid would have taken that field goal and instead of trying to go for that, fourth down conversion that we knew which was that day. At that point, had we done that, that would have changed the game to a point of a 3-point difference. Because remember, the game was 14-20 at the end. That field goal, if he would have taken the points instead of not taking the points, 17-20, right? Assuming that the Chiefs would still have scored on that touchdown, which I have no reason to believe they wouldn't have. We're talking about a 3-point game at that point, on a game that a rookie quarterback didn't complete a single pass after the first quarter. The Chiefs led in every statistical category yet again, every one of them. And there's certain categories you don't want to lead in. Like give me sacks. You don't want to have the guy that's been sacked the most. You want to sack the other guy the most. But not quite the story. Interceptions, you don't want to throw those. Those are bad. Turnovers are bad. You don't want to be in that category. Fumbles, also. Want to avoid those. Don't want to drop the ball, give it away to the other team. It's not good. So that's what happened. Every now and then I get a little bit. So it's crazy to me just to even look back at this game and try to contemplate how they possibly lost this game. They just lost their way of, they get upset throwing helmets and shit. That's fine. Want to get upset throwing helmets? Fucking throw a helmet. Go ahead. Whatever. But when you're done, get out there and fucking play and catch that fucking ball, make a play. I saw him go down in the red zone plenty of times, but no points. No points. Points make a difference. Don't leave points. Don't leave points. Don't leave points on the field. There's no reason for you to play 4-down football starting in the third fucking quarter, Andy. What the fuck are you doing? Stupid shit. A game you should have won. A game that you knew was going to be a difficult game. You went into it with a soft ass. And it showed terribly. The end result? A loss. The Chiefs still have the opportunity, like I said, to go out and win it all. Sure, absolutely. But everybody's got to do their job and do it right. You don't have another. I know you might not have another chance. You'll get to the playoffs. Second seed, I'm still thinking second seed. I'm still thinking second seed. It's not impossible, but more than likely a third. Okay, still no big deal. We got one home game, maybe two. No, all the time. But we'll see what happens. Chiefs clean things up. Maybe get the enemy back. Make a couple moves, those small moves. You can even look at Buffalo. About this. I don't know what this scam shit is I keep getting over here. But anyway, look at Buffalo. Look what they did. They get rid of Dorsey, their OC. Went ever since, doing great. And now they're right there in the thick of it, right in the mix of the playoffs and the postseason. It's pretty impressive. Yeah, I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility. As far as Super Bowl, yeah. Also, I still think the Chiefs are the best team out there. I'm well aware of the market. But I'm telling you, I've seen the Chiefs. I know what they're capable of. And I have no reason other than the facts of the matter to believe that they could still go deep in the playoffs, make it to a Super Bowl, and even win. And that still doesn't change. So that's where we're at on the Chiefs. Let's pivot now over to sports cards. Still collecting. Haven't stopped. Still buy cards. I don't buy new. I don't buy any sealed wax. I really don't. There's no reason for it. Like if I want to get somebody rookie, I'll wait or go to my local card shop or trade for it. Every now and then of getting back or getting a card that I want. So I still buy. I don't buy new. I don't buy any of the new product coming out. I think it's all garbage. It's all overpriced. I think that as a hobby, it's really lost a lot. Every now and then I get something that we do as a hobby for enjoyment, for fun, for entertainment. Same as me being on here doing this, talking to you guys. But what kid can afford like an $800 box of cards? No. And then you got, what? Let's say you go to Walmart, get a little solo pack, $10, eight, $10, right around there. Yeah, most little kids don't have that kind of money. So all these companies making these cars, they're gearing it towards people, I wouldn't say necessarily my age and older, but people that are older than children, older than 8 and up, 6 and up, you know. And then just the way the hobby has evolved, and everything evolves for the most part. Everything has evolved, but some things, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Wheel's still around. We haven't switched that. That's still legit. That's good. It's not going anywhere. A hammer hasn't really changed in a long time. It's not going to. So some things, as you can see, if you can analogize with me, that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. All right. Not everything has a problem. All right. Not everything is broken. But I do think that the card industry, the card hobby, is what I look at it as. Not a card business. If I want to make it a card business, I got more than enough shit to sell. But I'm not, because it's not a business to me. I don't even want to sell. I have no desire to sell. I like buying. It brings me joy. So does this now, making YouTube videos and going on and talking. So, but as far as cards go, I think they're overpriced. I don't think the value's there. I don't think you're getting your money's worth regardless of what you're buying, who you're buying it from. And that's not a knock on any of the local card shops. It's not them. It's not them. It's these guys. It's one company that owns everything that is running the show. Well, you're running the table, running the gambit with one guy. You got one company controlling it all. You got your Leaf, you got Hit, Sage, but without licenses, that's not appealing for a collector necessarily, unless you like the player. And I'll tell you, I've got plenty of Leaf cards. I got Sage, I got Hit, and I've got a lot of the older stuff from the 90s, and that is actually still licensed back then. But the newer stuff, of course, it's not. But there's still some good players. You can find whoever you like for football, for basketball. You can get them. They got them, and they're just not as high a tier of a card as a flawless or immaculate or an exquisite or national treasures or any of this other garbage. But the thing is, see, and here's where the scam is. It doesn't cost these motherfucking companies anymore to produce a card of somebody you've never heard of right here in this left hand versus somebody who's an all-time great in my right hand. It doesn't cost them any more money. You understand what I'm telling you? But because of hype, and because of influencers and shit like that, this card is shit in your left hand. Because this card is getting so hyped up, it's going up and up and up in value. And the only reason for it is because people are over here hyping it up. That's it. It's very simple. It's not a new formula. This isn't anything new. And if you're my age group, you're born in the 70s, and you're closer to 50 like me, then, you've seen some shit. And I've been collecting, like I said, since I was 6 years old. So this isn't anything new. I just, at this point, my collecting habits, trends, style, whatever you want to call it, I just pivoted totally different to a point. I still collect primarily basketball, which is my favorite, and then football. But I pretty much only collect now autographs. Autographs. That's it. Just autographs. Don't need to buy any of the new wax. I think it's all terrible. I don't think any of the companies that are currently licensed give a shit other than making money, which is what their fucking whole point of being. company is to make money. You know, this latest thing with this Tom Brady fucking Bowman draft bullshit. Somebody gets it like the first fucking week, first day, whatever. Like, what's the purpose of continue to buy it? If what you do is buy product to chase a card and that card's already been found, what incentive do you have to continue to buy that product if that card is already gone? And then my other question is, it's on golden auction right now. It's a brand new card, just came out, right? PSA graded it and graded a 9. Now, how the fuck is a brand new card that they're asking $50,000 for only graded 9 if it's brand fucking new? Hot off the press. How's it a 9? How's it not a 10? See what I'm saying? Even the most coveted card in a chase card types pack, set, box, series, whatever you want to call it, has already been found, and it's brand new, and it's not even a 10? How is it not a 10? Tell me how it's not a 10. Man, I didn't buy any of that shit, nor am I going to. I don't care for any of that stuff. But I think, you know, it's transitioned and went from a hobby that children could enjoy, kids could enjoy, and get into, and get their favorite players, and trade cards, and turn it into a business. And it's not designed to be a business. And, you know, these younger kids, you know, they like these players. I know some younger kids that are more affluent than others, which is crazy to me. But they can afford some of this shit. But the average kid, they can barely afford a school lunch. It makes you think they can afford some fucking sports cars that are overpriced and undervalued that aren't worth anything at all. So I see that, you know, this is like my 27th or 28th week straight, and I'm going to keep doing it. I started, like I said, June-ish, maybe a little earlier, maybe into May. And I'm going to keep doing it because I enjoy it. You know what? There's a little bit of knowledge up here in the old bean too, but nobody ever asked me any questions or comments, so it's hard for me to display any of that short of me just talking to myself, which is perfectly fine also, because I'm going to do what I do anyway. That's me. So, that's what I had about sports cards. Now let's get to the nitty-gritty. Let's get to the good stuff. Let's get to the games next week, or this week coming up, starting tomorrow, with the Jets going to Cleveland to face the Browns and Joe Flacco. I'll tell you that I really like the way the Browns have looked with Flacco. You know, I think Flacco's been the difference maker. He's done more in a handful of games than the $230 million Deshaun Watson and his happy endings, or whatever sexual predators like to do. I don't know. I'm not a sexual predator, so I've never so much as fucking put a hand on a woman, nor would I ever. Nothing like that. Not me. I'm 6'2", nearly 300 pounds, with a 36-inch waist. I'm very strong. I already know this. I don't need to prove it, nor do I need to bully or pick on anybody. Unless you want to fuck with me, in that case, that's different. But not a woman, not a female. Never. Never. Anyway, off subject, off the top of my head. Sorry, I don't know where that even came from. But Browns going to beat the Jets. Next we got Lions going to Dallas to face the Cowboys. It's a big game for the Cowboys, more so than I think the Lions. And I think that both teams have got a lot of potential. I think they're both really good teams, but I'll be honest with you. I think that the Lions are going to beat the Cowboys, and I'm going to stick with that. So I'll take Lions over the Cowboys. Next, we got the Titans going into Houston to face the Texans. You know, I'm gonna go with the Texans on this one. I don't know. Titans looked all right last week. Texans, but at the same time, you look at last week's games, and Titans lost to the Seahawks by 3. Texans lost to the Browns by a considerable amount. You know, one team scored 17, the Texans scored 22. I'm going to take the Texans at home over the Titans. So next we got the Falcons going into the Windy City to face the Bears. Arthur Smith and Eberflus, or Eberflus, whatever the fucking coach of the Bears name is. The guy that's going to get fired at the end of the year. That's what I call him. Man, that's it's just a shitty game with two shitty teams, but I'll tell you what, we're going to go with the Bears to beat the Falcons this Sunday in Soldier Field. Next game we got the Dolphins, we got the Ravens, and I'll tell you what, though this game is going to be in Baltimore, I'm taking the Dolphins. And I'm taking the Dolphins one reason, is I hate fucking Baltimore. That's it. Then we got the battle of the NFC South here, and the Saints going to Tampa to play the Buccaneers. The fucking Buccaneers. And the Saints. I don't even know if I could get like a pass not to have to fucking pick one for this game. I'd take it. But Baker Mayfield has been playing well last several games, and I expect that to probably continue. Derek Carr is one of my favorites, and he always has been, so I don't anticipate him playing any better or worse than they have as of late. They won last week, and good win. Can't say anything about it. Or they didn't win last week. They lost. I'm sorry, to the Rams. And, it's one of those tough ones, but I'm going to say the Buccaneers are going to beat the Saints. Next, we got the Patriots going to the Bills. You think the Patriots are going to upset the Bills in fucking Bridge Stadium or whatever the hell it's called nowadays? Probably not. But the Bills do have a nice defense. Patriots, I think, have a chance. Bailey Zappi. Maybe. Josh Allen and the Bills. Fuck shit. It's one of those games. It's a must-win for Buffalo. So who gives a shit for the Bills or for the Patriots? Because Belichick gonna lose to the Bills in Buffalo. And you got Coach Sean McDermott. And Bailey Zappi play a complete game. You know what? I don't think so. So I'm going to go with the Bills to beat the Patriots in Rich Stadium or Orchard Park or whatever the fuck it's called. So Bills are going to beat the Patriots. Next we got Cardinals going into fucking Philly to face the Eagles. Now Kyler Murray's been playing pretty good. And that's about the only thing about the Cardinals that's good. So we're going to take the Eagles to beat the Cardinals. The Birds will beat the other Birds. Next, we got the pathetic Panthers against the Jaguars and a banged-up T-Law, who may or may not be playing. Christian Kirkland, the Panthers are fucking terrible. You're getting fucking... You know what? We're going to just take the Jaguars on that one because the Panthers suck. But the Jaguars suck less. Raiders and Colts. I expect that to be a pretty good game. You got Minshew Magic, and you got the Raiders going into Indy. Colts still trying to find a playoff spot. Same with the Raiders. I love my Raiders, but those Colts are pretty tough at home. But those Raiders are pretty tough too. They got a little confidence coming out of that win this week over KC. And the Colts, well, it's going to be a hard-fought game. I think it's probably going to come down to the very end. But one thing that I can guarantee you is you're not going to get away with not passing a ball for 3 quarters and not completing a pass for 3 quarters. It's not going to happen. So, unless the Raiders have a better game plan, Whether Josh Jacobs is active or not, doesn't make any difference. You can't just not pass the ball and rely on the run, because if the run fails, then you have to go to the pass, and then you become one-dimensional, and then you're very predictable. Do I have faith in Aiden O'Connell, or do I have more faith in Minshew and his mustache versus O'Connell and his little mustache? Yeah. You know what? We're going to take the Raiders. We're going to take the Raiders to beat the Colts. Next, we got the Rams going to New York, MetLife Stadium, to face the Giants, and who knows who at quarterback. Matt Stafford's been on fire lately. The Rams have looked good. Still got a shot at the playoffs. We're going with the Rams. 49ers going to D.C. to play the Commies. Is it me, or is it ironic that the nation's capital has a football team nicknamed the Commies? I'll take the 49ers to beat the Commies in D.C. Next, we got the Steelers going to Seattle to face the Seahawks. The Seahawks have surprised me the last couple of weeks here. And though Mason Rudolph had a great game, I think he's a better quarterback than Mitchell Trubisky by far. I don't know if they're going to be able to beat the Seahawks as well as they've been playing. So we're going to take Seattle over Steelers. Then we got the Bengals coming into Arrowhead Sunday afternoon. Jake Browning. Are the Chiefs going to rebound and win this shit? Damn right they are. I think this is the game that the Chiefs finally get their shit together enough to prove that they are the team to beat. So we're going Chiefs to beat the shit out of the Bengals. That's right, you heard it. They're going to fuck them up. Now we got the Chargers going to the Broncos. And you know what? I'm going to take the Chargers to beat the Broncos. Why? Because fuck the Broncos. And Russell Wilson, for all intents and purposes, I don't believe he's going to be playing, from what I understand. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But taking Chargers over the Broncos. And then I got the Packers and Vikings on Sunday night. I'm going to take the Packers. Why? Because Minnesota doesn't have a fucking quarterback to save their fucking life. It's true. It's true. It's true. And then let me just check. New Year's Day. Do we have a game on New Year's Day? And we do not. We do not have a game on New Year's Day. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, let's just review this real quick. Give you the rundown one last time on the winners. Browns, Lions, Texans, Bears, Dolphins, Bucks, Bills, Eagles, Jags, Raiders, Rams, Niners, Seahawks, Chiefs, Chargers, and Packers. The mic I would just drop it right now, motherfuckers. That's all I got, guys. That's what we got for this week. Good. Maybe another episode later in the week. Maybe we do something else crazy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll see. But I thank you all. If you like what I have to say, like, subscribe, share, follow, fucking whatever you do. Otherwise, I wish you all the best. Have a great rest week, and God bless. Have a happy early New Year, everybody. We'll talk later. Peace.